Everyone, welcome to segment 3. I guess we are at 2.5 hours into the 24-hour podcast. My name is Todd Cochran. Of course, I want to encourage you to get over to geeknewscentral.com and check out all the great content over there. I put out a twice weekly podcast, and it's released every Tuesday and Friday morning. And we've just got done talking with Rob Greenlee from Zune. So if you didn't check the previous episode out, you'll definitely want to do that. We'll have information on how you can get all of this information or all these shows later at 24hourpodcast.com. That site hasn't been updated in a while. Don't go over there today because there's nothing new over there. But we'll have all these episodes put up there at a later date. Again, this is a charity event to raise money for Ronald McDonald House, Ronald McDonald House Charities. There's a link right now at geeknewscentral.com on the website. Look forward to every dollar, penny, nickel, $100 bill, $1,000 bill, whatever you want to contribute, we'll take her. And all that money raised will go to Ronald McDonald House Charities. We'll talk a little bit about that here later in the show. It's mid-morning here in Honolulu, but according to my schedule, if I'm going to bring the schedule up here, we are now in a 90-minute period of open chat time. We are actually going to open up all of the lines. Basically, anyone on TalkShoe, we're going to open up the GNC Pod 1, Pod 2 line. Rob's on GNC Pod 1, but if anyone would like to actually call into Ohanasaurus and have a chat with us, you can do so at this time. Let me get the information up on the website. The TalkShoe call-in line is +1 724 444 7444. I think I said that number's right. And of course, you put the code in 10832. That will allow you to actually come up live in chat. There's no video on that segment, so you will be able to get in crosstalk. If you're listening to the stream, you'll want to turn your video down on your or audio down on your stream when you actually dial into the TalkShoe line. So if you do want to call into GNC Pod 1 or GNC Pod 2 on Skype, you do have to add me as a contact. I'll add you here real quick and get you into the system. But this is open line times. Anyone can call in, and we're just basically what I've tried to do during this whole 24-hour event is have some periods of time. And really, what kind of has happened is no one wanted to come in on this slot. Is have some open periods of time where people can participate and just chat about whatever they want. Talk about my show, talk about their show. This is a show where you get to pimp whatever you want to pimp, as long as it's not illegal or adult in nature. So, because if we get any of that, I will cut you off that quick. So, I think Jeffrey's still on the TalkShoe line, but I don't know who else we may have over there. If everyone would on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you may be hanging out mostly, let people know that we're live, and that'll continue to drive people into the show. My kids are actually starting to wake up at this time. I actually set a bench up for them so that they can sit on the other side of the room and actually put a headset on and listen and not be able to talk as one of us is trying to do. So let me actually see what we've got here on the chat room. Okay. So I see MIB Pro 3030 up on TalkShoe. Are you got your mic unmuted?
Something just happened with Ustream.
Something just happened with Ustream? Oh.
It just went off.
Wow, it did, didn't it? Oh, that's not good. Now, good old Ustream.
That's back.
Oh, is it back?
I think.
Let me refresh. I don't see it on my side.
There it is. Yeah, it's back.
Oh, that's wild. I wonder why that went offline.
Yeah, something definitely hiccuped.
Yeah, they reset something. Maybe they put me on a different server. Sometimes that happens when you start running a lot of numbers, and this account hasn't been used in a while. And we drop numbers. Hopefully people will start streaming back in.
Hey
Okay.
Rob, I got one quick question for you because I'm signing back onto my Zune account. It's now asking for Windows Live, and I had a regular account before Windows Live, but it's not letting me associate the two.
Oh, I yeah, you should be able to just log right into the Zune experience, with the Windows Live account. So I don't, you shouldn't have to associate. I don't think.
Well, it's getting up to this point where it says enter your Zune tag below, and I put in Geekazine, and it just keeps saying it's already taken. I know because I
Uh,
took it.
oh, well, it's hard to say. I'm not sure. Keep trying, I guess, is the only answer.
I'll
Yeah.
have to send something to help on there. So
Okay. Well, it looks like we're back, and wow, we got all the viewers back. So that's a good sign. But I see we're still buffering a little bit. I'm actually seeing some buffering now on Ustream. So hopefully this is not an issue that's going to be happening all day, or I'm going to be an upset camper. Has Ustream got a big event going on their main page? I wonder if they've got some big, huge event today. Because
I don't see anything. I just went up there.
yeah,
There's
so
not the 24-hour podcast isn't even up there yet.
yeah, they didn't decide, they weren't nice enough to promote us at all. And I had sent an email to events, but they basically kind of, oh, I don't think that's live. Hang on. I don't think what you're seeing is live right now on Ustream.
Yeah.
No, from what I'm seeing, it's not. Are we still on?
It says Ustream live. If it was recorded, it would say Ustream recorded.
Yeah. Oh, that was weird. Okay, I guess we're still on. Well, I don't want to see no problems today at Ustream. Not at all. Okay, I guess we're good. All right. GNC Pod 2 is open. Anyone wants to dial into GNC Pod 2, feel free to do so on Skype. And making sure that's all online. Yeah, we're still good. So, Rob, what's been happening with you? What's been going on?
Oh, just trying to get my own home network going. I had to go and replace my wireless router last weekend. I had a complete network crash
Oh, that's
here. Yeah, so everything went down. I've got a home server.
right.
Got one of those HP home servers,
Yeah.
and I've been trying to work with that. I've got a couple of websites that are hosted off of that server
Really?
now. Yeah,
So is that
through.
actually it's actually holding up?
Yeah, it's actually doing really well. I actually got the first gen box,
Yeah.
and I did an upgrade on the processor and on the RAM.
Can you actually do that?
Yep,
I need to do that. Do you do it yourself, or you send it somewhere to have it done?
I did it all myself.
Oh,
I
you're gonna have.
popped out the old slow processor in that thing and popped in a 64-bit processor that like doubled the speed.
Did you have to rebuild it, or did it come up okay on its own?
It was a little rough coming back up, but once the CPU got seated and kind of got up and running, it worked great. It's been reliable and fast. It's been really fast. Actually, adding 2 gigs of RAM to it
Yeah.
makes a huge difference in the performance of it. And then adding the CPU upgrade now, changing the CPU in that MediaSmart server voids the warranty. So
My warranty's already
uh,
done anyway.
you're kind of on your own with it.
Yeah.
But one of the things that is coming from HP is that they are going to give all of the first gen home server buyers the 3.0 software that just came out.
Right.
But you probably shouldn't run that on an older version that hasn't been upgraded at least to 2 gigabytes of RAM. So that's kind of the latest kind of tech thing that I've been playing around with in my home network.
One of the
Uh,
challenge I've had is that well, let me shut this monitor down. That'll help the speed of the network. Um, Mine just dogging. I mean, it's slower than slow right now. So why don't you send me an email? What chip did you buy anyway? Do you remember off the top of your head?
It's an Athlon chip. Yeah, I can send you actually a website that actually has step by step how to actually upgrade the RAM and the CPU
Yeah.
on the 470 units,
Uh huh.
and it costs like, uh, you know, the RAM chip, the 2 gig RAM chip was like $25,
Mm-hmm.
and the new CPU was like 39, $42.
Oh, nothing then. Cheap.
And then, and then it's just a matter of getting the CPU kind of glue that you need to glue the kind of heat dissipation unit on, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Hey, I want to thank Geekazine, Podcast Madness, Tony Malloy, Webby201, The Curio for all twittering about the event. I definitely appreciate that. And anyone that can Twitter the events going on is definitely appreciated. So I'm going to head and update that we're in open lines. Yeah, because I think going back to your conversation, Rob, is yeah, I was like thinking, do I need to buy a new box and instead of doing it, but I didn't know you could upgrade them, so that's good.
Yeah, Todd, I'll send you a link here, and you can pull it up on the screen if you want.
Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, you have to send it to the. Don't send it to the Skype that you're on, Rob. Send it to my other Skype account.
Okay.
I got Martin on on the actual talk show line. Martin, how are you? Okay. We've got the talk show. Is people having trouble talking on talk show? Huh, that's weird. I'm asking, can they talk? And Jeffrey, you're on the talk show line, aren't you?
Yeah, because there's no real latency as in the Ustream.
Okay. All right. Rob sent me this link here. Let me go ahead and bring that up.
And once again, I'm on Skype going to TalkShoe. I tried doing TalkShoe. Apparently, TalkShoe does not work on Windows 7 64-bit.
Oh, I just twitted that the wrong. Well, I just went on Twitter. Oh, what an idiot I am! I just sent that link on Twitter. Oh man, I mean, that's so funny.
So you got the link, Todd?
Yeah, I did. I put it up in the actual chat on. I need to drop it in here too. Paste and go. Started liking Chrome. Chrome, I like some of the features in Chrome. I've been using that a lot more recently for a for a browser. So this is home server hacks. Ah, very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Now scroll down the page, and you can see a step-by-step instruction on how to do it.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, someone's got a bottle of Smirnoff there to. Oh, used it. They use that for isopropyl alcohol.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
that's a funny one. Probably drank a little bit out of it at the same time. Before this show's over, I'm gonna want to be drinking too. Oh, so they put the new gel down for the chip, put the heat sink back on. That's pretty cool.
So yeah, I would advise if you're going to this level and you're pulling out the motherboard on it to do both the RAM upgrade and the CPU upgrade at the same time.
Oh, smart. And it probably shows the before and after on this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so if you have this upgraded CPU running on there, HP will provide you a DVD here. I think it's going to come out toward the beginning of January.
Right,
The full upgrade to the 3.0 software.
right.
Uh, you know, so you'll have to do a complete upgrade or a kind of like a flash of the operating system on the home server to actually accomplish this, because there's a lot of components that they're adding to the 3.0 software that were not in the original home server software, and you can't upgrade it, you know, without having to go through this process.
Yeah, someone said, SonyNet says in chat, says, just be sure to use the 00 Phillips screwdriver for those front screws. And, it says
Yep.
RAM upgrade is supported by HP now as well. So,
Yes, it is. Yep, that's correct.
yeah. Oh, very cool. Yeah, I need to do that. I need to do that upgrade. Otherwise, I'm just, matter of fact, it's, the machine is, I've got like all nine, I think I have 9 licenses or 9 machines being sent to it at this point. And so it's, it's really causing it to pressure. Hey, I see someone had tried to, if anyone wants to call into a GNC Pod 2, don't be bashful. Turn on your video camera. Come in and join the conversation. Because believe me, before this 24-hour period is out, I'm going to need company. Because as talented as I am behind this great podium and this great studio, I cannot talk 24 hours on my own.
I don't know, Todd, but you'll give it a good shot.
Why, yes, I have done in years past. And then I just collapse. It gets it's fun during these hours of the night, but come about 9 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time, when it's 2 a.m. on the East Coast and everyone in the Pacific side has went to bed, then we get to rambling, and and I'll start getting a little punchy, and I'll go the punchiness added with a Red Bull or two makes for some entertainment in amongst itself. So
So do you ever sleep on camera and snore?
the first time I did this, I did a challenge, and if anyone saw me sleeping, I would like pony out some cash. But I am not going to put that challenge forth this year, because last year I was when we got to 23 hours. Well, what saved me is someone, a local guy here named Ryan Azawa, who does a podcast on Lost. He saved my Okoli. Okoli is basically your butt, and he came over and brought me breakfast at 4:30 in the morning, and Hawaiian time. So that kind of saved me. I had a real live warm body here to keep me company. Now, what's funny though is that let me actually make an adjustment on audio. We're getting a lot of feedback here. Hang on. What happened here a couple of years ago was on the first one, unannounced, a friend of mine who was watching the show at his house, who only lives about 3 miles from here, he decided, well, I'm going to come over and keep Todd company at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here. This is your day in tech.
Oh, well, thanks, Jeffrey. And so anyway, I had the studio different, where I was facing essentially, well, I was facing this way. And the sliding glass door, which is right over here, was open halfway. And he came around and didn't say nothing. He just knocked on the sliding glass door. I just about jumped through my skin, and it was caught on camera, and it was something someone put on YouTube, the actual me getting the daylight scared out of me for him coming, because banging on my back door at 2:30 in the morning. You're thinking, am I going to get shot? And then the other incident that happened that was good was the first year, the guy that was bringing me breakfast, I'd given him directions to the house, but he had turned one street too soon, and I had told him, just come around the back side of the house and I'll be back around there. And he called me. He's like, dude, I'm in your backyard and I don't see any lights on. And I'm like, you're not in the right yard. And I said, I'll be listening for a gunshot. My advice to you is to exit that property quickly. And so we've always laughed about that when he has come by the house to bring me breakfast in the morning. So yeah, finding my place is not hard, but it's I live right on a corner. But actually, going in someone else's yard at 3 o'clock in the morning probably is not advisable.
No.
Here in
Hey,
Hawaii.
Todd.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Todd, I sent you a link to a very cool car. You should check it out. It's the Nissan Leaf.
Uh huh.
Have you heard of this?
No, I haven't.
As it's the first mass-produced fully electric vehicle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, it was on tour. Actually, it's on tour in Seattle today,
Oh,
and yeah, and actually, it was on the Microsoft campus yesterday.
uh huh.
And it's supposed to come out in 2010. If you want to pull it up on the screen, you can show all of the audience members there.
Zero
But
emissions. Yeah, they're showing me the little ad here.
yeah, it's a fantastic car.
So is it one of these? If you get in an accident, you're going to get squished, or how?
No, no, this is a fully crash compliant vehicle. It's got a top speed of 90 miles an hour,
Wow.
and it's got a range of about 100 miles on a
That.
charge.
Oh, that's good.
And it's 100% electric vehicle. There's no gas engines. There's no hybrid. And it's going to be actually they're taking orders on it next December.
What's the price point going to be on it?
I got the impression from it. The price hasn't been set yet, but I got the impression from the guys when I was talking to them about it that it was going to be anywhere from about 28 to 35
28 to 35. You know,
thousand.
wow. 30. You get into the 30 range. That's luxury car pricing when you get in the 30,000 range.
I mean,
S-
Todd, this is a beautiful car, though. I mean,
Is
if
it?
you look inside of this vehicle,
It's
it's top.
deceiving. The picture of it is kind of deceiving. Let's bring up the gallery here.
Yeah.
And
I mean, this is the real deal. I mean, this isn't a golf cart. This is a real car that you can drive around.
yeah, what happens when one of the folks on the audience asks, how long will it set in rush hour traffic?
It it it'll sit forever because it doesn't do anything.
Well, if you've got the AC on, it's going to use some power.
Well, yeah, if you're cranking, roll the windows down, Todd. No,
Ah, it looks pretty nice.
yeah. So I think I'm gonna buy one.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy one, and then I'll probably keep it for a year, and then get a Tesla S.
Yep.
I don't know if you've seen a Tesla S.
No, I haven't.
That's what it looks like right there.
Yeah, you don't want to stand there while you're feeling this thing up. You might be there a few hours.
Well, no. So what's going on is in Seattle, they're going to actually put in about 2,000 charging stations,
Yep.
and those are going to be what they call quick charging stations that they charge the car in 15 minutes.
Wow. So how much is this going to cost? How much is a fuel up? An
About
electric fuel
about
up in it.
11 cents.
What?
Yeah,
11 cents to fuel it?
to charge it fully, and it'll drive 100 miles.
Now okay, Rob. You have standard. You have. What do you guys have there for gas station? You got Shell. You've got all these other mainstream gas
Shell,
stations, right?
yeah, I mean all the common ones. Yeah.
How are they going to make money on 11 cents a fuel up?
They aren't. You're not using gasoline anymore. You can drive past those gas stations.
Oh, you know something? Okay, they're going to try to figure out how to bring this on the market somehow. And we got the tech buzz coming in, and hey, bring up your video. Have you got video enabled?
I'm trying to bring it up right now.
Okay,
It was in a few minutes ago. To
um,
make get kickback.
okay. It looks nice, Rob.
I know, this is a beautiful car.
But you know what's interesting is why is the steering wheel on the right hand side? They introducing this in Europe first?
I think that's just the model that they took a picture of. Yeah.
Boy, what way to endear themselves to American drivers, right?
Well, it is an Asian company, so.
Well, yeah, I understand that. So they're actually driving it around, huh?
Yeah, actually, I saw it in person, and they have two cars right now. They're prototypes, and I would say that this particular car that I saw was a multi-million-dollar machine because there's only a couple of them around.
Yeah,
But
of
it's fully
course.
functional, and it's a beautiful vehicle.
Huh. 100 miles here in
Yep,
Hawaii.
yep,
My worry is again being in traffic because, at times, yeah, I can see now the wreckers are going to have power plugs with generators on board to rescue cars that run out of juice. These will be the next vehicles to be causing traffic jams in Hawaii, I'm sure.
and you know what? The other thing that's coming on the horizon with this is that these cars don't make any sound at all. They're completely silent.
Well, you've heard my
You know.
stories about that, right?
Well, yeah, and there's an opportunity to sell ringtones for your car, right? So so you just get like speakers on the outside of the car, and you can buy the sound of a Ferrari or something. Right?
Well, when I was living in the San Joaquin Valley in California, this time of year they have this fog. It's known as 1, 2, and 3 line fog, and what that really means is as you're driving down the highway and you hear dun 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 dun, that means turn because there's your exit because you can't see it.
Yeah.
And all right, Miles, you're in Hawaii. Well, we're getting we're getting feedback from the Tech Buzz is trying to connect in here. So you're in via audio, dude. I don't know what's going on with the video, but you can hang out that way for a second until you get it figured out. The what I found in at least living in Silicon Valley was that not Silicon. I keep saying Silicon Valley. San Joaquin Valley is in the wintertime. I would have to roll up to a corner, roll the windows down, listen, and if I didn't hear a car coming, then I would punch it to get across the intersection so I wouldn't get T-boned. They're going to have
Yeah.
to do something because these vehicles will be silent. You won't be able to
Yeah.
hear them coming.
They're totally silent. Plus whenever you push the brakes or you come off of the gas,
Yeah.
they're generating power in the battery.
Oh, that's cool.
So Todd, I'm going to send you another link to the Tesla S.
Okay. I'm going to go through the rest of
And
these pictures so everyone can see them.
yeah,
Wow. Reverse, neutral, and drive. That's the 28 to $35,000. All right, you guys in the audience, you've seen these. Actually, I should have had this up. You guys in the audience have seen these pictures. Would you buy one of these? Could you commute? Is your commute less than 100 miles a day? And I'll look at the next link that you've sent me. Oh, the Tesla?
yeah.
Are you making that
This is
much money? I thought those were expensive.
no, no. This is a new model that's coming out in 2012,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's got a range of over 200 miles
Oh, that's nice.
and a top speed of about, I don't know, I think they said 110 miles an hour, and
What
it
was
goes from 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds,
Wow. How much
and
was
it could be
40,
um,
49
yeah, it's
9?
about 49,000, yeah.
I need another 500,000 listeners, Rob.
Do they make that in an SUV?
But but Todd, you have to admit, what's coming with electric cars is compelling.
That
I
is
mean,
beautiful.
these are amazing. I mean, this car looks like like a Maserati or something.
Yeah. Well,
And
you
it's
have you
really,
have to have the income of someone that can afford a Maserati to afford it.
if you think
Wow.
about it, I mean, a lot of people spend anywhere, around 30,000 for a car today.
Yeah.
And it's not that much more. Plus, if you factor in how much you save in gas and maintenance,
Yeah.
um, and and it probably almost makes up for it.
We got the Tech Buzz on GNC Pod 2. Hey, dude, how are you doing?
Hey, man. I'm doing pretty good. This is the first time I've tuned into your show.
Oh, good. Thanks for this is a special event. This is a 24-hour show. It's something I do once a year, and so it's nothing that I do on a regular basis, to say the least, and nothing that I would be able to survive from anyway. But thanks for hanging out. This is open discussion time for us. So tell us about your show.
Well, I'm kind of like in the same boat that you are. I'm doing this kind of on the side for fun and just kind of seeing where it goes, and I just enjoy helping people with technology and and that sort of stuff.
Well, this is my full time. Well, I guess you would call full time income. I'm trying to figure out where we're getting that feedback from. Hang on.
Also with the Skype, I had this problem yesterday, and sometimes the Skype needs to be like I restarted my Skype, but sometimes Skype just hangs. It doesn't want to show your video. So I tried screen capturing my video and sending it through to you as a screen capture. I don't know if you're getting that.
I'm just getting your. We're getting a little feedback somewhere. We're getting the. I see the Tech Buzz logo anyway, so on the page. So that's what I've got up. Um,
Still
that's
working.
yeah. This is at this point in my new media career, I guess this is more than a part-time gig for me. I'm at this point very much full-time. Of course, I also run Raw Voice as well, but the basically my show pays my salary. I don't take a salary from Raw Voice, so
Nice.
yeah. So far so good. I can't complain. But Rob, what do you think about this car? Did you see this car? You saw this car up on the stream. What do you think of this thing?
Who, me?
No, I was talking with. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
you.
What
Okay.
what is your first name? That's on GNC Pod 2?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Steve.
Steve, what do you think of this Tesla Model S 49.9 electric vehicle?
I think it's going to be the wave of the future with the electric cars being the way gas is.
Yeah, and I don't think gas is going to get any cheaper.
Not at all.
No, it's only going to get more.
You know, the only thing I wish that would happen was that here in Hawaii, everything that here we're in this beautiful state. We've got lots of natural resources. We have very few wind farms, actually just a couple, and we have hardly any solar. All of our electricity here is generated by oil-driven, traditional, basically traditional, burning plants. We don't have any coal or anything like that. We just have oil generation here, electric generation. And if I could fill my car up for 11 cents a charge for 100 miles, that might be pretty compelling, considering I probably spend 250, maybe $300 a month on fuel. So yeah, that's half the car payment right there on a vehicle. It would cost this much. So it gives you some reasons to sit back and think a little bit. I just wish they'd put in a nuclear power plant here in Hawaii, and that way we wouldn't ever have to worry about burning any more oil again. But they're a little sensitive about nuclear power and Hawaii's pristine environment. But hey, I'm all for it. So, so what do you? So where's your show actually located at, Steve? What's the domain name?
The techbuzz.net, and I believe it or not, I used to stream on Ustream until I ran into some problems that you had earlier today.
I've
So
I've been using
I've
them.
actually moved over to Justin.tv.
Yeah, I've been using them forever and never really have had any issues up to when it buffered a little bit today. But I find that their video recording is much superior to anything else I've seen out there as far as the quality of embed. So that's part of my reasoning as well. So did we lose somebody? Oh, we got someone else that's actually adding themselves here. Hang on.
Now, I started a screen share of the camera. Are you able to get that? Are you seeing that at all?
No, not this time. I'm not.
Must be. It's got to be something with Skype here on this machine. I
Yeah.
had like on my show yesterday. I had this problem.
Hey, those of you that are on TalkShoe, I've had that line muted here because it was adding a bunch of noise to the line. Let me go ahead and unmute that again. Those of you that are on TalkShoe, you can, anybody that's on, I see there's like 4 of you that are dialed in, so feel free to add to the chatter here. So, Rob, do you have any additional cool links of some cool stuff? So you're going to buy a Tesla and you're going to buy one of these Nissans, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm going to buy the Nissan Leaf first, since that comes out late next year,
Right.
and then either keep that or sell the Leaf, and then buy the Tesla S, which comes out in probably the early part of 2012.
You're going to be
So
styling. Rob, let me ask you a
that's my
question here.
plan.
Are you having you're not having a midlife crisis, are you now? Now that Model S, that to me looks to me like
That's hot.
that's a pretty sporty car. And if I drove that in the driveway, um, my lovely wife would have to say to me, "What are you doing?"
But Todd, it's a practical car. It's a four-door sedan. Come on.
Yeah, okay. It looks like a 4-door sedan, but come on. All right, audience. Does this look like, if you're in your 40s, does this look like one of those midlife crisis cars? I want to hear from everyone in the chat. Does this look like a midlife crisis car? Or does this look like something that you could sell as a vehicle to be drove in your driveway from with your significant other or girlfriend, and depending upon what you're driving? Oh, Joel says, don't want to sit in the back of that. Yeah, that back seat looks pretty short, Rob.
No, that car seats 7 people, Todd.
Seat
I'm
7.
serious. It seats 7 people. 2 of the people are kind of tiny, but
It's not gonna seat 7.
it says that right on the front page.
Okay,
If you
let us
go
look.
back,
Let's go to the
go back
image
7 people.
library here, and let's look at this image library. Seat 7. Okay, let's look.
That's what it says right on the front page, Todd. If you go back to the front page,
I
you can see
saw
it.
what it said on the front page. Where are they gonna sit? Underneath the hatchback?
Todd, the whole battery structure of that car is in the chassis.
Oh,
So from one end of the car to the front end to the back end is all storage and driving compartment. Because the drivetrain of the car is actually built into the chassis, and all the batteries run along the bottom of the chassis of the car.
when the insurance companies get their hands on the pricing for this vehicle, they're going to put the class of the insurance on this in the. Wow, look at that. You guys see this?
It's got an all glass roof to it. All glass.
Oh. Now,
Isn't that hot?
that's hot. That's hot until some truck driving in front of you puts a big chip in your front of your car and you get that sparkle effect. Let me see here. The deductible on that
Yeah.
glass replacement. Whoo. Oh, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, Rob. You know that, right?
I know you are.
Silently, I'm screaming out, I want one really, really, really bad, right?
Hey, the perfect solution is to put some solar panels on the roof of your garage, right?
Yeah.
And just charge it in your garage off of solar power. That's the answer.
That's cool. I must admit that is pretty nice vehicle.
Yeah.
Now the question is, are they going to be able to bring this to market?
Yeah. They're in the process of building a manufacturing plant down in Southern California right now. There's presently a waiting list of about 2,500 people that have already put down $5,000 down on the Tesla S. I was talking to them just about a week ago, and that's what they're telling me. Actually, there's 2 models of the Tesla S. There's a special edition, model that is going to be fully loaded with all sorts of accessories. It's like a signature edition, so there's only going to be like 2,000 of those ever made.
Right.
But to pre-order one of those, it costs about $40,000 down
Wow.
to actually secure that special edition. And then there's presently a waiting list of about 2,500 people for the regular Tesla S. And the driving range of the vehicle ranges from 160 miles to 300 miles.
Oh, that's
so it depends on how many batteries they put in the vehicle.
Huh.
And what's the full list price on that?
$49,900 is the what they're showing on the website.
And it qualifies for a $7,500 tax credit from the federal government too.
That's not bad.
If you look at
same with the Leaf too. The Leaf qualifies for a $7,500 tax credit as well.
The inside of the car screams midlife crisis, but I so love it. I so love it.
Hey, you can flip the finger to the to Saudi Arabia,
Well, hey, you know something? I'm all about that. I think I like the white interior better than the red, but
That'll get you quick.
Show some of these shots to your audience.
Oh,
you're making them drool, but you got to show
oh
them
man, what am I doing here? I was on the wrong screen. Check the interior out, folks.
Oh, okay, that's the Roadster you're looking at there.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, that's a $140,000 car.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Well, I was like, wow. I was like, I see here. I can't. They don't have any interior shots on their website for this.
I think if you go to Google, you can find some.
See, if I do interior images from this page, see, it brings up the. Huh. Oh yeah, that's for the Roadster. You're right.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me pull up a link or two that I can get for you. Tesla S.
Yeah, they don't have too many.
Go ahead. Go to Google and type in Tesla S, Tesla Model S, and then go in the images area. Okay, there's a bunch of shots there.
Yeah.
So, and if you scroll down, actually the third row down.
Oh, I got some tree hugger site. Hang on a second. Oh, I went to the tree hugger site. There it is.
Okay, the other big thing that this car has in it is a 17-inch flat screen monitor in it. So you can see in that picture right there, see right in the center console?
Yeah.
It's like a massive iPhone.
Now, what I'm seeing here, though, is I'm seeing knees bent up. That indicates to me that might be a little bit tight of a fit unless he's got the seat pulled all the way up.
He probably has the seat pulled all the way up.
All right, we can see we're fancy here. We can run video in video. So
Holy Toledo.
let's see if it'll actually buffer.
Bang. Yeah.
We'll see if I kill the stream here with trying to pull too much bandwidth down.
So can you play the audio in here too?
Yeah, I can if I can get the. Let me turn this off. See if we can. It's supposed to be patched in. Hang on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we can see the video now. So I think this was the unveiling down in San Jose. I think it was about 6 months ago.
Well, that's weird. I don't know why I'm not getting the audio. The audio should be playing, but it says it's playing, but it's not coming out of the speakers. That's weird because I got this thing patched in. Huh. Yeah, it looks nice. Is the stream still staying up when I'm doing this? Are we still good on the stream?
So you can see that all glass roof there.
Yeah, it's amazing. I have no idea what he's saying, but anyway, everyone gets the idea of what's going on with this thing. So, Yeah, Rob, we're going to have to hope the Zune continues to sell well because in order to afford that vehicle, you're going to need every dime you can get from the good folks at Microsoft.
Hey, I've been saving my pennies for 40 years to get this. You know.
You know, I know that I've told you this before, but I have always drove basically Costa Canarlies. You know what a Costa Canarlie is?
Something that barely runs.
A Costa Canarlie is a car that coasts down one hill and can hardly get up the next.
Yeah,
So that's
I got the
that's
big picture.
yeah, that's a Costa
Todd,
Canarlie.
get a bike.
And I drove a Volvo for a while. I was really styling in a Volvo, and
There you go.
yeah, so I broke down here during the helped the economy a little bit, and this is the vehicle I have now. I've got a CX. Actually, that's not a CX-9. Let me give you a picture of a CX-9 here. Well, jeez, good old Google sometimes is great. Let's go right to the Mazda website. This is the 10, but this is a vehicle I bought this year, and it's really gas efficient. It gets an amazing 18 miles to the gallon. Costs $52 to fill it up here in Hawaii.
Smoking.
Yeah, so yeah, that's so I've graduated from a Costa Canarlie to a halfway decent vehicle that seats 7 and really can seat 7.
Hey Todd, I just sent you the link to a photo of the dashboard of this Tesla.
All right, let me
You got to show it because
okay.
it's unlike anything you've ever seen.
All right, we'll put that up here. So you never know what you're going to get during the 24-hour podcast. You don't know if you're going to get tech or wow.
Oh, this is all tech.
Yeah, it is. This is all tech. That's nice.
It's a massive touchscreen, so you'll be able to skin that with different designs, and the car runs off of a computer system that will have a wireless connection, a 3G connection. So
Yeah.
they'll push updates to the car directly.
Huh. You know, I like it. I must admit, I really like it.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't
But
it?
you know, there's sometimes you don't want. You know, how many of you have sunroofs, and many times you just want that little thing pulled? I hope they have the ability to kind of not have that glass always on, if it's tempered in such a way that
It's a good question. I don't know.
because you know sometimes you don't want the sun shining straight on you.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
yeah,
That's true. Yeah, so they should actually put the entire roof as a solar panel.
or better yet, have it so that when you have a little switch on it that you can adjust. You know, have fibers embedded in it so that you can actually electronically put the shade on. So,
There you go.
but
Sounds like a plan.
so how many of you here are going to buy a Tesla S, or how many of you want to buy the new Nissan? You know, for the money and the looks and the range, if Tesla can actually come out with this, I think they're going to make a lot of money.
When are they going to get rid of that archaic
Well, you know-
thing on the driver's side?
The what? And what, Jeff? What did you say?
When are they going to get rid of that archaic thing on the driver's side?
What's that?
The steering wheel.
Oh,
What do you want to do? Sleep in the car when the car's going to drive itself, right?
Oh, I want somebody to talk back to me and say, "Hello, Michael." You know, little
He
Knight
wants
Rider
a
action.
kit car. He wants a kit
Little
car. Right?
LEDs in the front. That would be kind of cool.
oh, I'm going to turn Rob up. Everyone's saying Rob's quiet. Hang on.
The guy that designed the iPhone software is the same guy that designed this touchscreen on the Tesla. So they actually hired him away from Apple, I guess. Is my understanding.
Well, he did a nice job, and that's for sure on that screen. It's pretty impressive. It really is, and I think we're going to see a lot of these green cars. I think we're going to see a lot more of this in the future. We got to do something because it was painful when gas was. Well, we were over $5 here. You know, so
Oh, yeah.
it was
Yeah.
ugly. So hey, turn Rob up volume up. So I hope that helps everyone on the stream. Did that help everyone a little bit? Okay, good, good, good. It adds a little bit more to the background noise, but I've got the EQ basically hammering that frequency as much as I can already to remove some of that scratchiness. It's just a matter of too many wires and too many connections, and it is what it is. But well, cool. So we've got a couple of people up on TalkShoe. Who's all on TalkShoe right now? You guys need to check in.
I believe I'm on talk show.
Who's this?
This is Ralph Mucci, the executive producer of the Wedding Planning Audiocast.
Hey.
Show. How are you?
Hey, Rob. How are you?
No, Ralph.
Oh, Ralph. I'm sorry. So
Doing well.
good. So let's see here. Where are you calling in from? You're out east, aren't you?
I'm in New York and New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Great, great, great. Well, welcome to the 24-hour podcast. And
Thank you.
I think I'm scheduled to talk to you later today, aren't I?
No, that's not us.
Oh, okay. So a similar network then. Very, very cool. Or similar.
Similar but very different.
Okay, cool. So who else do we have in on the TalkShoe line? I know Jeffrey's here, and then there's at least one other person that's called in. I don't know if he's actually listening right now. He's in, but Mib Pro 3030. Who's Mib Pro 3030?
It's me, Jose Alvarez from the great state of California.
Hey, how are you? You've called in the show a few times, yeah, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, you have. You're very, very quiet though today, so we could barely hear you. So, what do you think of the event so far this morning, or actually afternoon?
Man, it's great. It's great. I'm loving it.
Well, good. I'm glad that you took some time out of your schedule to come hang out with us, and so it's good. This is kind of cool. We got folks in on TalkShoe. We got both of the Ohanosaurus lines in action right now. And Andy McCaskey just checked in from SDR News. Just saw him check in on chat. Hey, Andy, by the way, I know you were looking for a embed. The embed's right on the video. You can go hit menu right on the website, and you can pull the embed. Anyone that wants to put the embed on their blogs and so forth, hey, I'm greatly appreciative. The more we get this thing spread out in different places, the better. It's all the exposure we can get for the show is definitely appreciated. Of course, we're raising money for Ronald McDonald House Charities. That's the most important thing. Link is on the main website on how to contribute there. Basically, just get your credit cards out, and PayPal will take a little bit of your money and put it in the account. And let me actually bring up my email, and let's see if what we've seen. Yeah, we got one that's come in. Got a $50 contribution that has come in. And what else? We had one earlier, too. Yeah, there was a $30 one that came in earlier today. So I definitely appreciate it. So that too, we're just off to a little bit of a slow start on the donations. But it doesn't have to be a big donation. It can be a small donation as well. But we appreciate any donations you make to Ronald McDonald House Charities. You guys go ahead and chat amongst yourselves here for just a second. I am going to make an update on a couple of websites so that we're ready for some additional functions that are going to start here in about an hour. And then, I should be back with you here in just about 5 minutes. So, Rob, if you want to entertain them, that's fine. Or Jeffrey or anyone else that's on the line, go ahead. Or even Steve, if you want to talk a little bit more about your show, please do so. Don't be afraid to jump in.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you wanted me to. I could switch to a different Skype account where I'm using a different camera. I don't know if it's just the Skype on my Mac is being really stupid, and they say that Macs are supposed to work.
Well, if you want to do that, that's fine. Feel free to do that. Donate, Andy. The donate link is actually it's a link at Geek News Central. It's up at the top of the page. You'll find a hyperlink to that. And so let me.
Todd, I sent you another link to another car that's coming out here pretty soon. That's probably could be more in the price range that you're looking at. It's going to be an electric car.
All right, let me
So
go
it's
ahead.
called the Coda.
Page is loading now.
I suppose I could get the code out of the way for the hour.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeffrey. Do that.
First of all, hey, everybody out there, I just set up the Twitter account at Podcast Madness if you want to go and sign up for the Twitter. And we'll add another code to Podcast Madness Twitter so you can pull it from there. But this hour's code, let me find it here. We're at the close to the 10 o'clock hour, Hawaiian time. And so let's see. It's wedding, WEDDING. Go over to podcastmadness.com. Enter that in. We're gonna Todd's gonna give away some great stuff. We haven't figured out when we're gonna do that. Probably not today, but we'll get everybody there. Yeah, of course, if you participate every single hour, we'll try and give a code out here, and you can put in one code per email, and that will so you can have all the codes and one email. So you can you got to listen every hour for the code.
Now, basically, Jeffrey, that means they can enter a code every hour, right? That's how that works?
Oh, they can, yeah, one code per email address every hour.
Okay.
So if you've got joe@joeschmo.com, you can put in all the codes one at a time, of course.
Okay. Oh. This, go ahead, and if you want to talk about this Coda, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a new car. I'm not exactly sure when it's coming out. It looks like it's coming out probably in the next year or so. But it's got a vehicle range of about 90 to 120 miles. It's got a top speed of about 80 miles an hour, and it goes from 0 to 60 in about 11 seconds. And it has it holds just 4 passengers. So most of these cars are all pretty much running off lithium-ion batteries. The Nissan Leaf has kind of taken a little bit different twist on it because most of them run off of packs of laptop batteries is really what they're using in these cars. But the Nissan Leaf uses like flat, kind of like almost like a flat panel of batteries. So the reason that they're doing that, and this is what they told me yesterday, is that I guess the round lithium-ion batteries generate a lot more heat than a flat, like a platter. So it'd be like a 14-inch square platter of the lithium-ion batteries that are sitting flat. And so I guess there's more surface area to keep the batteries cool. So that's the difference between what the Leaf is doing and a lot of these other cars. The other cars are using more of the regular round laptop batteries. And like in the Tesla Roadster, they have about 6,600 batteries in that car that actually drive that car. And each of the batteries is electronically controlled by an onboard computer. And so each of the cells are managed and controlled and monitored for their efficiency of output and recharging. So if you have a particular battery fail, one of those cells fail, it is possible to go in and just replace that one cell. So you don't have to get a whole new battery pack to try and prop this stuff up. And I also heard that that these battery packs will last pretty much the life of the car. What happens is that the power that the battery can hold actually drops over like a 5 to 10 year period of time. So the worst output that you'll get from one of these battery packs in one of these cars will be about 80% of when it was new. So that's about the worst that it would get based on what they've told me anyway. Like on this Coda, they actually put out a battery warranty of 8 years or 100,000 miles. But realistically, what they would do is they would come in and replace pieces of the battery, not the whole battery. Now you can have the option to replace the whole battery. I know Nissan has been looking at leasing the battery to the car separate from the car. So you could basically, you just pay a monthly fee to get access to the battery, and if the battery fails, then they just come in and replace it. So there's a variety of different ways that they're playing with these technologies, and it's really kind of an unknown thing, but I know up and down the West Coast they're planning on building a lot of charging stations, like at rest stops and various places along the way. I guess they'd probably install one wherever they could get, like maybe a McDonald's or some fast food place to install one of these charging stations. But it's happening. I mean, that's the exciting thing about it, is that this technology is progressing, and there's investment, and there's actual cars that are on the horizon to come in. Most people just don't know about it yet, and so that's why I kind of wanted to spread the word a little bit about this, because I've been really keeping an eye on this stuff, because I have a passion about getting away from using gas in my car. I presently have a Camry hybrid, and I've actually had that vehicle since 2006, right when that car came out, and it's just it's mostly gas. It gets about 37, 38 miles per gallon, which is good, but I'd like to get a little bit more if I can. But anyway, I don't want to dominate the podcast too much here. Is there anybody else that has any other comments about what they think about getting an electric car?
I was going to ask you, is there any kind of like voice activation with it? Can you just by like pressing a button on like your keychain, can you tell it to start? Since it's mainly computerized based upon what you said.
Yeah, really, these cars operate a lot like how you operate your laptop. There's a power button. My Camry hybrid operates off a power button on the dashboard. It doesn't have a key. So that is going to be the technology that's used. I know on the Tesla S, when you walk up to the driver's door or the passenger door, and you have a little, it's like a little IR key. It's not a physical key. It's like a transmitting kind of like a chip. The actual door handle pops out of the car, and you just pull on the door handle and opens the door. My Camry operates where it actually will make a it'll make like a beeping sound just as I walk up to the car, and the car automatically unlocks. And that's the same process that the actual ignition system will work as well. Is that it'll sense that is in the vehicle itself, and you'll be able to just push the power button on, and it will come right up. It's not going to make any noise when it comes up. It's just going to turn on, just like what happens with your laptop. And I'm sure that display screen on the dashboard will boot up just like a laptop as well. It may actually come up a lot quicker, I would think, because all that stuff's going to be pre-cached in ROM. So when you turn on the power button, it'll just come right up.
So are you able to also, cross media by hooking it up, I don't know, via USB or even Bluetooth to the car? See, I'm not too familiar with the new technologies in the car. And where it's going. Is that I mean, I've seen Ford Sync, I've seen different things with that, but I mean, is that going to be the wave where you can actually sync your libraries and home sharing methods in the vehicle without actually having onboard media?
Well, I think that you're going to have more options to have a 3G connection or a 4G connection directly to the car, or routed through your mobile phone to the car. So I think that those are going to be the two options that most people will have. And the Bluetooth technology, or like a wide area wireless, will probably be the technology that will be used there. And if you're able to get a 3G connection plugged right into the vehicle itself, because these cars are going to have onboard computers that will have hard drives and the capability of storage of media directly to the vehicle, or it can be routed through your mobile phone. So those are going to be options. I mean, the Tesla S will get push software updates directly to the vehicle, so you'll have the option to get a 3G connection directly to the onboard computer of the vehicle itself. So conceivably, you'll be able to get streaming video, streaming audio directly to the onboard car stereo, just like what you would be able to do on your laptop today.
So I think that's
I
totally.
think if I may interject here for a second, I think this is Ralph from the Wedding Planning Audio Cast. I think I missed. What is the speed of the car?
Well, it depends on which car, but most of these vehicles will have a top speed of around, I don't know, anywhere from 80 to 120 miles an hour. And keep in mind, when you're talking about an electric vehicle, it's not like a gas engine that has this kind of this, push the gas pedal and the engine, ramps up in its torque and its horsepower. When you push the gas pedal all the way to the floor in an electric car, you have 100% amperage going to that electric motor, which means, it's 100% on. It's not like there's going to be a ramp up. Now, the car will have a limiter technology in there that will allow it to slowly speed up. But if you were to push the gas pedal all the way to the floor, you would probably spin the wheels. I mean, you're talking about performance that people just aren't used to thinking about when they think of electric vehicles. I mean, the Tesla Roadster outperforms the fastest Ferraris, available on the market today. And they are actually coming out with a version of the Tesla Roadster that will be right down there in about 3 seconds, going from 0 to 60. And it's just breathtaking, the performance that you'll get out of these vehicles.
That sounds good.
So anybody else have any other questions?
Way out of her price point.
Well, I think what's going to happen, I mean, all these companies, it's just like, when the new big screen TVs came out, with the plasma technology when they were $20,000. It's just all about scale. Once they kind of get into the mass production aspect of it, I know that's the aspect that both Nissan and Tesla are trying to address, is trying to get these things in a manufacturing process and a manufacturing line that will enable them to scale the production, thus driving the cost down. Because I talked to both companies about this issue, and they both feel that the electric vehicles will not be a mass adopted technology until they can get the price point down to the price of like a subcompact vehicle, which would be in the $17,000 to $18,000 range, is where they'll actually get volume. And they should be able to do that if they can get the mass production going on the battery technology. That's the piece that drives the prices up.
Well, there's no doubt about it. We have to start taking steps for the future, especially with the gas situation and the environment. And this is definitely a way to go. And these prices, once they get the technology down, these prices are not going to remain at the price they are today.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, I think that, if you look at the CODA, you can really see where this technology is going. It's going towards making a subcompact car that people are accustomed to buying today, and it's going to have, there's not going to be any compromises. And I think the battery technology will continue to get better and better. So this distance of driving and the ability to recharge the vehicle rapidly is going to become less and less of an issue. Most people in their houses today have the ability of 220 volts, which will give you enough power to charge your electric car overnight. So most people won't drive their car to drive their battery down to zero power. Most people will drive it down like maybe 50, 60%. And then so what you're doing is you're just recharging it for just a couple of hours to get it back up to full speed. Now these charging stations that will be located on the West Coast, first of all, will have up to 480 volts of charging capability, which will mean that you'll be able to charge these cars in as little as 15 minutes.
I think
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I would assume that the noise level of this car is relatively low because of the fact that it is electric.
The sound that the vehicle makes, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the sound, the noise level of it. Since you're not dealing with a regular engine, or are we dealing with a regular engine? No, I would say, right?
No, it's going to be a fully electric motor is what it's going to be. And you're exactly right. It's going to be silent. I mean, people are driving the gas hybrids today are kind of experiencing that right today. You know, I've got a Camry hybrid myself, and I pull up to a stoplight, the engine turns completely off, and you're just sitting there in silence. And I push the gas pedal slowly, and there's no sound at all. It's just the wind blowing past the window roll down. That's about all you get out of it.
That's good.
Yeah, it's very peaceful.
The charging capability, which will mean that you'll be able to charge these cars.
Yeah.
I barely hear that last part. Well, folks, I'm back. I got me a quick little mini sandwich and got stuff updated so that we're live on techpodcast.com now. We're also have the embeds up on a couple of other sites in preparation for a couple events that are going to be going on this afternoon. Rob, thanks for coming in and hanging out all this time, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, well, thank you for having me on. It was great to chat about these electric cars and Zune and all the cool stuff that's going on right there, going on in the technology space.
And, looks like you've done your homework on all this, and I wish that, at some point, we're probably all going to be driving electric cars. And I guess there's really no choice in the matter, but, it brings up its whole own set of, I guess if you want to call it green issues with battery disposal. And, if you had as many cars on the road today that were electric, then, everyone's going to be screaming about batteries. That, there's going to be some sort of trade-off one way or the other.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And Todd, I've actually thought about doing a podcast about green technology. So that, who knows, I might jump into that space and do that again.
And Steve, thanks for hanging out with us for a little while as well. I want to open up the lines to some more folks to call in before we go off of open line time. And thanks for hanging out.
Okay, hey, thanks, Todd.
Thanks for having me on. And apologize about the video.
No worries. It is what it is. No, we're not stressing anything here. So it'll be fun to watch the podcast awards ceremony at 8 p.m. Eastern, though, because that's going to be a dance that it's going to be fun playing, trying to shuffle all these people in and out and everything else. So it'll be a challenge, but hey, it's a learning process, right?
Yeah, can I ask you one quick question before you get off?
Sure.
Before I get off, I was just curious about if you want to break into the business and do basically what you're doing. I have a huge studio setup as well. I'm not running a TriCaster. I'm actually running Wirecast. For my broadcast and a green screen, and I was just kind of curious, somebody that's entrepreneuring, trying to do what you've been doing. I've been doing it for nearly 2 years, and what steps would you recommend that I take to maybe get to a successful status where you can do this full time?
Well, I think that you need to know who your audience is and what your message is. That's the most important thing. I know that my bread and butter comes from my audio audience. They're the ones that pay the bills around here. The video portion of this is all planning for the future and seeing where we're going to go in 2 years. Now, if you saw what Rob showed with the Windows Media Center now having podcasts on it, there is, that's one avenue of the future for all of us. But consistency. You have to be consistent. Be there every time that you say you're going to be there for your audience. If that means that you're going to be releasing a show every Tuesday, you better be there every Tuesday, because if you miss, they build someone else into their lives. I think that's been this big success of my show, that my audience knows every Tuesday and Friday morning there will be a new show in their inbox, or in their iTunes, or in their media player, or on their mobile phone, or on their Zune for them to listen to. And what they have done, because I have been consistent, is they have, just like you watch a TV show, they have built me into their lives. And if you are not consistent in there at the time you say you're going to be there, then there's a good chance that your audience isn't going to grow. Another thing you have to do, if you're not doing more than one show a week, you need to be blogging. If you're not blogging on your site every single day, what gives what incentive do people have to come back to your show or your site? Oh yeah, that's right. Steve has got a new show out on Tuesday, but they've got to come back to your site Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and actually read other content and kept your brand in their brain. And it's just it's just like we all have habits, and it takes so many days to break a habit. It takes so many days to form a habit, even with the listener. And I hate to say it that way because it kind of sounds kind of weird, but and then making them easy to consume it, make them easy to send you feedback. Um, this audience that I have, they're part of my family. I listen to what they say, positive and negatively. I read everything on the air that is submitted to me, whether it be good or bad. Just because, as a family member would say to me something, then I react to it. And some people say, well, don't read the negative stuff. Don't just ignore that. That just is a distraction. Well, if one person was willing to write something negative, you can absolutely be guaranteed unequivocally that at least 100 other people were thinking the same thing. Because the 99 other people aren't going to write, and that one person is, because he was irritated enough to write. The other people, I would just let it go this time. And the same thing with the positive stuff. I take the accolades in stride and appreciate them for what they are. But there is no secret sauce except for just doing it. A lot of people spend so much time agonizing over format, agonizing over editing, agonizing over this show. And this is what everyone's different on their personalities, but this show is what it is, and it is no more or no less. It has its quirks, it has its goof ups, it has its plus and minuses. Over the last 537 shows, I have edited maybe a dozen shows, and that's where, like just recently, I was in a hotel room recording while I was on travel. And I left the thermostat up to about 100 degrees because I came in, it was cold. I had forgot and just cranked the thermostat up. It was all good the first 45 minutes of the show. 50 minutes in, I was about ready to puke. So I forced myself to finish the show, but I took that 10 minutes. I just chopped it out. I got rid of it, and because it was so bad. I mean, it was really, really bad, and in that instance, that's when I took an exception to my non-editing rule. And sometimes I will have recorded a segment over, but when you're doing video, you get one shot. And when you're live video, you get one shot. So to do an hour and 15 minutes is the only way that you can improve and get better, is simply by doing it. And it sounds like you've been doing the same by being over on Justin TV and doing your show over there. In all honesty, I never in 100 years would have thought that doing this show live in my normal twice a week format would make me a better audio podcaster. But it's forced me. I've had no choice to become better. Now, has there been hiccups? Has there been, when I introduce new stuff like the Ohanasaurus, where people can call in on Skype now for like this event? Yeah, there's going to be motion challenges, and it's mostly how do you want to say that? See, Toddism right there. It's as I call it, a human factor. I have to turn, I have to look, I have to make a change. Does it give a great camera value? No, but again, it is what it is and adds to the value. I had a listener send me an email last show that said, Todd, you need to get rid of all this stuff behind you. It's just a bunch of junk back there. Well, this is where I'll take an exception. I basically said on the show, thank you very much for this comment, but politely, no, I'm not going to change it because, first of all, listening to someone just talk for an hour and 15 minutes on a show and having a couple of camera angles, that's not going to do it for most people. They're at least going to have something else to say, okay, what's back there in the corner or what's over here? And maybe I've digressed here from your original question, but I think the main thing is just keep doing it. And you got to go where your listeners are at. You got to find where they are, and you have to promote your show outside of your show. Go to other podcasts that are doing similar stuff. Send me your promo to your show. I'll play any podcaster's promo on my show, because what I find is that when I share my show, or when you share my show, when I share your show, we both grow. And so network with people in the space and do everything you can, every opportunity to get your name out there. I think that's it's part of the process. But again, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I appreciate that. I mean, that's an honest answer. I wasn't really looking for like a special formula,
Right,
or
right,
anything
right.
like that. But more so, I guess direction, because I've never really got to, have gotten to speak to somebody that, that's been producing quality, podcasts. I see the equipment that you're using. That it's very, high quality, and usually people are coming to me for the advice in different instances. And for once, I was like, I really want to ask him, his thoughts, and maybe get some direction, some guidance in that sort of thing, whether good or bad.
Well, and the thing too is ask for feedback. I very often, I'll ask people, all right, tell me what you hate about the show, and they're pretty brutal. They'll tell me very honestly what it is. Now, another thing that I over the last 3 months have broken one of my major golden rules is I decided to only add one new segment to my show about every 6 weeks. And that way, have a little change, measure it, see how it's either caused a decline or an increase in listeners, make another small change. But I've made some wholesale changes to this over the past 3 months. Introduced a whole bunch of elements, but it did not introduce new elements to the audio show. The audio format that I have been is predictable. Folks that listen to my show on a regular basis, they know. 15 minutes, if they don't want to listen to me just jabber about whatever, the first 15 minutes is that junk. That's me talking about family, house, what's going on with the business, what's going on in the podcasting space, catching them up on my travel plans. It's just whatever. It's non-tech talk. Throw in the sponsor messages, boom, get into content. 45, 50 minutes of content. Then 10 or 15 minutes of closeout with audience emails, voicemails, and that is the format. And so some people, when they get in the show, they zip right past the first 15 minutes. They listen to the 45 minutes of the primary content and then move on to the next show that they're listening to. But it made it easy for them to know how to consume the content. Go ahead.
Can I say something here?
Sure.
You get out of it what you put into it. We've been doing this. Wedding Planning Audiocast has been doing this for 3 years now. And yes, it is a tremendous amount of work. There's a lot of production.
Keep talking. Go ahead.
There's a lot of work that goes into this, and you have to really, really be dedicated. Number one, and number two is you have to really enjoy what you're doing. And it will show in your shows if you're slacking off. Now we have a different kind of a listener base. We deal with brides, we deal with wedding professionals, and there's a knack to what we do and how we've come about it. And one of the secrets and tricks that we have, which I'll share with you, is we make the shows no more than a half hour. We make the format is very fast moving. It's right to the point. It's an informative show. It's humorous. We apply humor to the shows when humor can be applied, because not every show could be serious. It's a type of guest we have. And so those are some of the secrets and the things and ingredients that we've incorporated to make our show successful. Our audience has grown tremendously in the last 3 years, and again, I want to stress that it is a lot of work. Setting up the appointments of the guests, looking at the script. Sometimes the shows are scripted, preparing the guests, doing the editing, which is very important, because you want to try to make the show sound. I know everybody thinks differently, but the way we think is you want to try and make the show sound as professional as possible. People expect a certain sound from us now because they've been listening to our show for years. and it shows. I mean, when you're sloppy with your shows, I have to be honest with you, nobody wants to listen to them. They'll
right.
just shut it off, or they'll fast forward it, or like I said, they'll just completely shut it off.
Hey guys, we're at the top of the hour. I need to do a reset here because we got our next segment coming on, and I need to get that under the way. We've got Robert Allen's coming on to talk to us about. Matter of fact, you're on the Skype call, aren't you?
I am indeed.
Yes, you are. So we've got an additional wedding network. That's actually this was Robert's was a scheduled guest come in at this time. So Robert, just give me a second here. I didn't mean to cut anybody off, but we're going to try to keep to a schedule here, and let me get things switched up so we can get you actually on. I need to close the last session and then bring you on here full time. Give me just a second here. So I hope I answered your hope we answered your questions and gave you some ideas here.
No, I definitely appreciate it, and I'm also gonna simulcast you guys right now on my website on my show right now, because you're gonna be live for 24/7, so that way people can watch this as opposed to my pre-recorded.
Okay, very
So-
cool.
I appreciate
God
you
bless.
being on and answering.
Lots of luck to you with your podcast.
Hey, thanks.
And thanks for having me come on. I appreciate it.
Hey, you're welcome, and we'll be on all 24 hours, so don't worry. There's plenty of times you want to come back later. Lots of opportunities. So hang on
We
just
will. Stay well. Stay well, buddy.